there. I know I have to glean. I know I have to gather. But my friend, I want you to realize that God's got a lot bigger purpose for you than just to glean on the field. You don't have to be a stranger anymore.
Amen.
You don't have to remain in the same spot. You can live your whole life just gleaning the small things that you're trying to eat from. But God wants to bring you into the fold. I'm not talking about through salvation. I'm talking about God wants you to be a partaker of the Redeemer's field. He wants you to know that no matter what you need, you can get fed by the grace of God. You just have to come. Don't make an excuse. Don't just say I'm comfortable with the corners of the field. God wants to give you the handfuls of purpose. He wants to pour them out and say, even if she's gathered everything, would you just give her a little bit of grace? Give her a little bit of extra. Lay it down on the field for her so you can eat of God. Ruth goes and she says, why have I found this grace in your sight? Why? I ask myself the same thing all the time, Brother Mike. God, why have I found this grace in your sight? But look at what Boaz said, and this is the message. Boaz says, see that thou not glean in another field. Once God places you in the field that you need to be in, you have to stay there. Because God's telling you, see that thou not glean in any other field. Satan will try to tell you to glean at this place or that place. Your own flesh will say, well, it's a lot more comfortable at this church. It's a lot more comfortable under this preacher. But if God's feeding you, go where God's feeding you, where God's growing you, where He can use you, where your kids can get saved by the grace of God. That's where God wants you to. If God places you somewhere, stay there.
Amen.
If God moves you on, move to the next field. But if God says, this is it, this is it, you know. Ruth goes. She eats with Boaz. Boaz tells her, see that thou not glean in another field. You'll just be just like one of the handmaidens. You can dwell with them. You can stay close to the reapers. I even like this. He tells her that even the sheaves, the harvest that they've already gathered, if she grabs from that, don't tell her not to touch it. Just let her touch it. Aren't you glad that I can eat of the harvest of God? Aren't you glad that when He brings us in and you start to see the harvest together, that He says, even though you're a stranger, I'll let you eat of it because now you're my kin. He gave His life for you so you can be adopted by the Spirit of God. And now we can cry Abba, meaning Father, you're an adopted son of Jesus Christ. Ruth goes back and tells Naomi. Naomi says, well, whose field did you light upon today? And Ruth says, I lighted upon Boaz. And Naomi says, he's one of our near kinsmen. And she says, daughter, see that thou not go into the other field. She says the same thing. A godly woman gives the same advice to her daughter-in-law. God has a plan for this, is what she was saying. God knows exactly what He's doing. God knows exactly what you need and where you need to go. You may think that, boy, I can figure this out, I can figure that out. My friend, God purposed everything for His good pleasure. God wants to use you as a vessel of honor and a vessel of glory so that you can lift His Son up and so people will be drawn to Him. That's what He wants. You've got to do that. But first you've got to get where you can get fed so you can be a laborer for the Lord.
Amen.
Ruth goes. Naomi gives her some instruction. Tells her. Now it sounds strange in our day and time. We don't understand this tradition. But tells her, when he goes and after the harvest is completed, boy, this was some time. Ruth was getting fed the whole entire time. When this happens, and he goes and he lays up in the storehouse, And they would sleep with the harvest. They would drink and be merry, and they would lay there. It said when he does that, lay yourself down at his feet and cover his feet and wait until he wakes up. When he sees you, see if he extends grace. Aren't you glad that when you... Now, when the Bible says boldly approach the throne of grace, it's not saying that you come unto God. You say, God, do this, this, and this. It's saying, in faith, you come into the Redeemer, knowing that he's the only one that can give you what you need. And if he extends the scepter, you know you found grace in the eyes of the king. Esther, there she is. And she's going to go and she's going to advocate on behalf of the people getting ready to be slain. Every single one of them. She wasn't supposed to go at that time. You may think I'm not supposed to go at this time, but she said, I've got to go unto the king. And when she got there and she bowed down, here comes the king's scepter extended under her. Aren't you glad that the King Jesus, extends the scepter of grace to you and I and say, whatever your petition, ask it. If it's not according to my will, I'll answer. Amen. Ruth goes, lays herself down at the end of Boaz, the Redeemer, the kinsman, covers his feet. He wakes up, he startles, says, what are you doing here? And she says, I need you to do the part of a near kinsman. I've left, you're the closest thing that we have to kin at this point. It's their duty. If one of the ones, the husband died, that the brother, if he didn't have a wife, he would raise up seed to that one. And if he didn't, the next one in line. And then he went down the lineage to the next kinsman. Look, Boaz, he was next in line. But Jesus, he's a lot nearer kinsman than Boaz ever was. And so Boaz looks at her and says, dwell here till the morning. I don't want it to be known that there was a woman that was here in this barn. But he said, I'll go to Bethlehem in the morning and I'll see if I can do the part of a near kinsman. And so Ruth the next day goes to Naomi. And I like what Naomi says. She said, he's not going to rest until he does the part of a near kinsman for you. Aren't you glad? Do you realize the amount of love that God's bestowing upon you this morning? Do you realize how much grace he's trying to extend to you? He's not resting. The Spirit's not resting till he can do the part of a near kinsman for you. That God does not want you to be a stranger anymore. He doesn't want you just to glean. Aren't you tired of just eating the droppings when God's got handfuls of purpose that are laid out for you? I can see a Syrophoenician woman that's there, and she has a daughter that needs healed, and she comes to Jesus and says, would you please heal her? And Jesus says, should I cast the bread of the children unto dogs? And she says, Lord, but do the dogs not eat of the crumbs of the master's table? And Jesus looks and says, I've not seen such great faith in all of Israel. Aren't you glad that even as a dog, when all you can do is eat bread from the table as crumbs, that God says, hey, you can be a king's son, and you can eat of the handfuls of purpose. Thank God you don't have to be a dog. He loves you like a child. Amen. So, Boaz goes, and he goes back to Bethlehem, gathers the elders, and there was one that as far as lineage was concerned, he was closer to them than he was. That's like the flesh. The flesh feels a lot closer a lot of times, but the flesh can never do the part of redeeming. And so Boaz looks at them and says, hey, they're next in line. She's lost her husbands. There they are. They need somebody to do the part of a near kinsman for them. And he says, well, first he says, there's a field. He tries to tempt him with the field. He says, you can have the field if you do the part of your kinsman. He says, but, by the way, you also have to marry Ruth, because that's the next part. He said, well, I can't do that. I'd mar my own inheritance. He said, but if you want to take it, you go ahead and take it. Aren't you glad when it meant for Christ having to become sin for us, become the curse, marring his own inheritance, leaving all the glory to come down for you and I.
Amen.
He said, all do the part of a near kinsman. And so it says such was his redeeming in the time. They took off a shoe, and they would put a hand on each other's thigh, and it was a deed in front of all people that that redemption was purchased, and there was nothing that was going to take that back. Boaz went and took Ruth because why? She went and hacked where God purposed, and she gleaned the field where God purposed. Where in the house of bread, if God leads you there, go there. God will feed you. And then God will give you exactly what you need.
Amen.
Ruth has a child. Boaz and Ruth have a baby. But then it said that Naomi helped wean that child and raise that child and became a nurse for that child. And it was said in the land that God had brought Naomi aside. Aren't you glad that when you think that God has left you empty, that he looks and says, I'm going to fill every little bit of your cup back up and make it overflow. I'm going to give you all this grace and I'm going to feed you. He even said, if you're athirst, the young men are going to give you to drink of the vessels. Look, Naomi, you may feel empty. God can fill you up. Come to him. Ruth, you may be hungry. You may just be trying to fend for your family and try to feed them and do this and do that just to survive and get along. God doesn't want you just to survive. He wants you to live life and have life more abundantly. In the last few verses, it said, Ruth begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Obed, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David.
Amen.
Do you realize that when you do and go and eat where God wants you to, that there's a king's lineage inside of you?
Right. Amen. Amen.
I've got the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords living on the inside of me. Isn't that not enough? You may search for everything else, lighten other fields, and say, surely I can eat there, but you'll starve. The King, the Word, the bread of life is living on the inside of you.
Amen.
See that thou not light in another field. Well, why? Why does it matter that much? My friend, if you try to eat where God's not letting you eat, you're going to die.
Right.
Well, physically, spiritually. Well, why does that matter that much? My friend, the closer you get to God, the more you realize that the spiritual things are all that matters. Quit looking for physical blessings. Well, I need this, I need that. He knows exactly what you need before you even take thought of it. He loves you so much. He's extending his grace so much. Be more concerned about the spiritual things. In Luke, the 14th chapter, it says, would a man even build a tower if he didn't first count the cost? Have you counted the cost of trying to eat in the field that God is not planting you in? Do you see what is going to happen to you and your wife? Or you and your husband, or you and your kids, or you and your grandkids? It's not just you that's going to starve. It's your whole family. God's feeding you. I'm thankful for the handfuls of purpose.
Amen.
I don't even understand why he does it, Sister Gina. But he looks at me and says, I get it, you're full, Josh, but here's some more grace. And my fat self looks and says, thank you, Lord. And I dig down and eat again. And he daily loaded me with benefits. He says, here's grace. Here's a handful of purpose. His purpose is for you to be full. Not for you to be hungry and go once every 3 months and fill the Spirit of God. That's not God's intention. Mike, I'm so glad that I don't have to be in the spot anymore where I would come to one service and get fed. And then I go for services and services, Dylan. I don't feel the Spirit of God. And I feel it a little bit and it gets quenched. And I just want to come in and just get out of the way and say, God, just pour it out. Pour it out. Pour it out. And God just looks and that's all he wants to do. I see the woman over there that has the 2 sons that are getting ready to be taken by the creditor. And she goes to the man of God, and the man of God says, what have you in the house? And she says, I have nothing save a pot of oil.
Yeah.
You may think that you don't have much, but if you just have the Spirit of God, that's enough.
Amen. Amen.
So she takes it, and he says, go, borrow of the neighbors. Not a few vessels. Aren't you glad that God's Spirit's not limited this morning? That as it starts to get poured out, it'll fill you up. It'll fill you up. It'll fill you up. Spirit all over the house. So she goes and she begins to pour out. Look, all God wants us to do is pour out. Stranger, sojourner, person that knows what it's like to be saved by the grace of God. If you're not getting fed, pour out unto God. If you have the Spirit of God dwelling within you, pour out and see how God increases it. Amen. So she pours, and she pours. And kids, look, vessels to Mom. I think maybe they had big ones. I think they had real small ones. But she didn't differentiate. She didn't judge. They said, grab every single vessel that you can. Right. God does not care how big or how little or how white or how black. And God does not care anything about this outside man. All he wants to do is use you as a vessel and fill you up.
Amen. Amen.
She pours out, pours out, pours out. I don't think she poured softly either. I think she dumped every little bit. I think oil splashed off of every single vessel. I think by the time they were done, and it was all over the floor, it was all over the walls. That's how the Spirit of God gets. When you pour out, it's everywhere.
Amen.
Finally, she calls out in a room full of vessels and says, bring me another one, boys. And the boys look and say, Mom, there's not a vessel left. So she goes back to the man of God and says, we've done all that you said that we were supposed to do. What should we do now? Look, when you've done all that God tells you to do, come back to the man of God. Not me. The man of God. God himself.
Amen.
Come to him and say, what should I do next? He'll guide you. He says, take what you have. Sell it. Pay off the debt. And you and your sons live off the rest.
Amen.
Aren't you thankful that Jesus paid the debt? But the Spirit that he gave when I got saved by his grace, it's enough to take me all through eternity that I can live off the rest.
Amen.
Don't glean in another field. Actually, don't glean at all. When God plants you, he'll grow you, and you can eat of the harvest. Isn't that good this morning? Oh no, I feel like somebody needs to pray. I don't feel like giving a song. I feel like the church just needs to pray this morning. If you would, come around. Just mind the Lord. Dear Father God, thank you for the opportunity, Lord. We'll come to your house, Lord. I thank you for feeding us, Lord, with your Spirit. Thank you for feeding us with your word. God, thank you so much for what I feel in my heart this morning. God, Lord, for allowing us to sit in heavenly places. I thank you for brothers and sisters that are gathered today, God. I ask you for the police, Lord. Help each and every one of them to just be right in the center of your will, God. Give them what they fear you, Lord. Help their hearts, God. Please, Lord, please don't touch them, Lord. Well, you know, these people need help, God. I ask you, Lord, to help them, God. Help them to submit up to you, God. If you need feeding, Lord, feed them, God. You need strength, give them strength, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for everything you've done, Lord. I thank you for my family, my home, my church, Lord, a place where I can get fed, God. Thank you for allowing us to go the way you have us to go. God, Lord, believe, Lord, at this church, Lord, be the center of your will and use us as a vessel of honor and glory. I thank you for all we know and tell you, we know we come short, God. I thank you, Lord, for loving us and us. In the name of your Spirit, Lord, please just help us on this morning. In your prayer we ask it all. Amen. He's got something he has to do for the Lord this morning. Just mind the Lord, please.
Well, while he's getting ready, I want to thank the Lord for Sunday school this morning and the message. Anybody that'd like to listen to me, I'd ask him. I said, "Come here, Brother Josh." I said, "The Lord has given him great messages." And the thing I was thinking right when he was started preaching, I said, "And the Lord lets him explain himself as he goes, so even I can understand." You know, so I want to thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
Somebody can help me. I don't know what it's called, but steal away and pray. It's not in here, but I don't know what's under. It's not in
'82. Just mind the Lord. If God's drawing you to do something, just follow His Spirit. Grab no orders. Other than His order.
Obey. Obey the Lord.
every time I do, I need I shouldn't do.
Every time I say a word I shouldn't say, and I tell you what I do, and it brings the blessing too. If I'll steal away somewhere and pray, I just steal away, I just steal away, and I ask my blessed Lord to lead the way. I just steal away, I just steal away, I just steal away somewhere and pray. Oftentimes I hang down my head in shame, and some I walk or lead along life's way. But I never am your shame, my Savior precious name. I just steal away somewhere
Right, take somebody to shame.
and pray.
Thank God.
I just steal away, I just steal away, and I ask my blessed Lord to lead the way. I just steal away, I just steal away, I just steal away somewhere and pray. Christ the Savior always hears and answers prayer.
Always.
And He gives me blessings every day. So when I try to test Him and I fail to pass the test,
Yeah.
I just steal away somewhere and pray. I just steal away, I just steal away, and I ask the blessed Lord to lead the way. I just steal away, I just steal away, I just steal away somewhere and pray. Every
else this morning, just mind the Lord. We're going to tell you who you are.
Well, Josh, I'd like to ask the church to say a little prayer for me. In the morning, I gotta go up St. Vincent's and have a big needle stuck in my back. It's a mile away. What's called about 7 o'clock in the morning.
Remember that?
I've had 2 of them, so I know what's going to happen. That's the bad thing.
God will take care of that. Pray for this, that somebody have anything on their heart to say to the Lord, testimony. Here they go.
You know, Josh, I always appreciated the fact that when Boaz went to the nearer fleshly kinsman, you know, the practice of swapping the shoes. Well, that's the way they surveyed the land. So they walked the property line, and now they knew the meets and the bounds of the property, and then walking in those shoes, they would swap them, and that way each one would have the other half of the pair, so to speak, and that would be the witness. Well, isn't the analogy wonderful that Christ walked in our shoes as a man and physically defined the boundaries of our lives, and that was the witness that we have, and that's the witness that he showed to us. So just another part where he fully fulfilled the law.
Right.
Amen. Amen.
Enjoyed the message.
Someone else this morning.
I just want to say I'm thankful to be here. I feel so unworthy to feel His love and be taught somebody.
Yes. Amen.
Man. Someone else this morning.
Josh,
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like everybody to just have prayer with me on my back.
Man.
I'm really concerned this time.
Man. Remember that. Come over to you. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you, Lord, tonight, grace and we ask for need of the word says, Lord, sick among you, cough, out of the hurt, lay hands, Lord. We know the Spirit, Lord, can heal, the Spirit can touch, the Spirit